Login accepted.
Am I? Yeah. Hello, 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 hello. Okay, we're gonna start the meeting right now. If you haven't signed in yet, make sure to scan the QR code or go on our link trees. It should be the first one. But yeah. Should we just go with intro? Yeah.
Oh, wait, I'll let them scan first.
Yeah. Just gonna give you some time to scan.
The QR code's also up there if you missed it. But yeah, welcome to Swift. We're cybersecurity club. Thanks for coming out. It's like a lot of people, but we have a lot of fun things planned for this year. So for this meeting, we're gonna go over like our fall calendar, some of the competitions we have too, and then some of the other competition teams we do in our other mentorship programs. So yeah, and also these slides are posted on the link tree. So if you missed anything, you can always go back. Oh yeah. Let's introduce ourselves.
Okay, so I'm Bill. I'm a CIS major. This is my last year, and I'm co-president.
Yeah. I'm Sydney, and I'm also a fourth year CIS major, co-president with Bill. Okay, cool. I'm gonna call on the rest of our e-board members just to like stand up and say their positions. So first we have Kenneth. Oh, the clapping. Cool. Thank you. Let's keep the clapping to the end. Thank you. Max. Yay. Okay, Zen. Woo. Okay. Natalie T. Okay, Rachel. Lemons. Thank you, Dylan. Alex. Ryan. Okay, Natalie C. Elias. Josh. Ali. Jerry. And Matthew. Is Matthew here? Oh, he might be on the Zoom. Oh, okay. All but one. That's pretty good. You want to do this one too?
Yeah. So we also have Swinterns. They're like e-board, but interns. If you could stand up, or if actually let's just introduce them one by one. We have Charles. And we have Molly. And we have Daniel. He's here. Oh, there he is. Ryan D. No, okay. Okay. Raymond. Then Rebecca. All right, give applause for everyone. Actually, no, that's fine. You guys have enough clapping for today. So what is Swift? It's kind of I know good amount of you came to our club rush and we're wondering like what do we do because our title is kind of vague, but we covered the main three domains that we cover are cybersecurity, so cyber defense, offense, red teaming, anything in between that. Then we go to networking. We have a lot of infrastructure and equipment that we play with, and a lot of people who are really into networking. And you might see a few in the schedule later on that cover the basics of networking and maybe more to come. And then we have system administration. This domain really covers like the OS wise, like Linux and Windows, what you can do with it, terminals and all that stuff. So hopefully you'll get to explore all those domains in our workshops that we'll reveal later on in the meeting.
Okay. And then so we have a lot of like programs at Swift that we do, so it might be like kind of confusing knowing where you fit. Obviously, we don't want to tell you what to do, but like if you're confused when we're going throughout this presentation, like what's the difference between a PAL and a Swintern, then you can like go back to this slide and kind of see where you should be. But yeah.
So this is the first general meeting. So all of them are going to be every Tuesday from 12 to 1. Most likely it'll be in that room right there next door, but that's still to be determined because yeah. And then we have workshops. That time's actually wrong. This semester or this week, this Friday, it will be 6 to 8, but the following Fridays will be 4 to 6, and that'll be hosted on the same room next door, but also the meetings and the workshops will be on Zoom. And for meetings, it was just more a lecture base, just talking about concepts and going over what you need to learn. And then in workshops, it's more hands-on. We give you labs, or we create our own labs, and we have you do them and apply the concepts that you learned during the meetings.
Okay, this is our entire schedule for fall semester. Does Alex or Ryan want to come up and explain it? But yeah, like all of our meetings are listed on here. So if you're ever confused or you want to know what topics we're talking about this week, you can just look at this slide.
So I'll kind of give you guys all a general rundown on the academy schedule we have for this semester. We're gonna start off with a very intro, kind of introduction to cybersecurity, introduction to Linux. And that's going to be to prepare you guys for our Cyberforce tryouts. And that's going to be happening on Saturday, 9/14. Cyberforce is a competition that is targeted for beginners. And so what I really wanted to achieve with this schedule, at least at first, is to prepare everyone who maybe has little experience or doesn't have experience in cybersecurity and prepare them to be able to join the competition teams and gain more experience through that way. After we finish the introduction weeks, then we're going to start getting into more various diverse cybersecurity topics. we're going to start with another Active Directory workshop, and that's going to be basically defending Windows and Windows domains. That's going to lead into our next competition. The next competition we have is called Search and Destroy. It's a beginner competition as well, but it's going to be internally hosted. So there won't be any tryouts needed. You guys can just show up, participate in it. I'd really recommend it. And it should give you guys a lot of experience as well. And that's kind of the same idea with all our competitions, to build up your skill level. And as we keep going, we're gonna get into what we call more, we're gonna get into a pen testing month, and that's gonna be the month of October. So what we're gonna do is, we have a program called Scare, and with Scare, we're going to be teaching you guys intro to web hacking, Linux hacking, Windows hacking, and then we're gonna have a finale where you guys put it all together and compete in. It's not really a competition, but you'll put to practice everything you've learned so far, and like basically you have to attack a network and write a report on it, which might not be the fun part, but I promise the actual attacking is pretty fun. After that, we're gonna have a little break. We'll get into Docker. It's kind of a containerization program that's really important to know. But after that, we're gonna have another competition. It's a lot, but I promise the competitions are really good for building your skill level. This competition is gonna be RVB, and it'll be where you guys participate as the defenders in the blue team, and we will be attacking you. And so we're attacking your machines. Um, um, and that'll be the Saturday, 11/16. After that, we're going to finish off with a quick workshop on AWS and cloud, and have a guest speaker for our last meeting.
All right. Thank you, Ryan. You can
Okay.
sit back if you want. Now we're gonna go more in depth about the in-house competitions with Clemens.
Hello. If you guys remember, I'm Clemens and this is Dylan, and we're gonna go ahead and talk to you guys about our upcoming competitions.
All right, so the first competition this semester is going to be called Search and Deploy. It's an introductory sort of pretty sysadmin focused competition. The idea is, I remember when I was first getting into cybersecurity, starting college here, there were like cybersecurity competitions like RVB, but how am I going to know like how to defend or like properly configure like SSH if I don't know what SSH is? Like, how am I going to be able to set up a firewall if I have no understanding of like how like computer networking works? So the point of this competition is basically to give people who aren't super familiar with cybersecurity, or just want a refresher, sort of a good introduction into just how to sort of navigate a computer network, sort of how to interact with different operating systems, and just get experience in that field. And even if you are experienced, it could be a good refresher for just building some more familiarity with different computer systems. And that's going to be on, it says September 12th, but it's moved to the September 21st now. Yeah, sign up by September 12th. Okay, it is correct. Never mind. I can't read my own slide. But yeah, basically the idea of the competition is you'll be given a set of machines with different operating systems, and it'll have some aspects that are similar to like Hivestorm or like Cyber Patriots, where you're fixing like misconfigurations on the system, but there's also going to be an aspect of learning to actually set up and configure services that don't currently exist on the system yourself. So that should be a good way to get experience in just interacting with computers in general, and that should help prepare you for further competitions that will be more security oriented.
By the way, I just realized I forgot to correct the September 12th. That's supposed to say September 19th. So you guys have another week than I put there. Sorry about that. If you look at the form, it should say 19th. So, all right, now let's talk about RVB. Now, RVB stands for Red versus Blue, and you can think if anybody played Halo here, then you might think we're just shooting each other, but that's not what's happening. RVB is a adversary competition where you are defending a set of boxes against our very own in-house red team. And this is designed to be an environment where you have to deal not only with a adversary coming in and trying to mess you up. They're going to troll you. They're going to post a whole bunch of random images to your websites. They're going to change your password to lol or something like that. But also you have to worry about pleasing your boss or finishing a CTF. So you're going to be operating as a business, and we're going to hopefully help you to understand what it's like to work in such an environment. Just like Sand, it's going to be 4 competitors per team. And yeah, we're going to have November 16th as our first fall RVB. The theme will be coming up soon. For those of you who have done RVBs in the past, the theme might be familiar to you. And in spring, we're going to be having a second RVB somewhere in the middle there. And our last competition is RVR, which is going to be an earlier spring 2025. This is replacing Koth from last year, and RVR is essentially adversary versus adversary. So you get to hack your friends. Who wants to do that? That's less people than I expected, honestly. But okay. So yeah, we're still trying to come up with how exactly that's going to work, but we're going to make sure that everybody has a good time and, you know, hacking each other.
I will say that if you are interested in these competitions, as they are team competitions, but you don't have a team to compete with, I would recommend reaching out on the Discord. There's plenty of other people, I promise, that also want to compete, but are nervous or don't have other people that they necessarily know they can team up with. And I promise you that there's other people that will be willing to make teams with you. And if you can't do that or are struggling, we could potentially help pair you up with other people as well.
Yeah, and like if all these competitions sound daunting, we set up multiple so they would be kind of like one after the other. So it's like if you've done RBB in the past and you're like, oh, I don't think I was prepared enough for it. That's why we have Sand now. So yeah, it's really foundational, and make sure to sign up for that one. But yeah, I'm going to talk about Tech Symposium next. So Tech Symposiums are our annual cybersecurity conference that everyone at Swift helps lead. We try to bring in around 10 or more companies and industry professionals to like give talks throughout the day on industry insights or like other topics in cyber. And they'll have some like demos too. It's free to attend for everybody. There's also a CTF. You get a network with a lot of cool people. And it's going to happen spring semester, probably around like March or April next year. So just look out for that. Yeah, now we're going to talk about the competitions that we do at a national level.
So as I mentioned, or I don't think I mentioned this earlier, we do participate in collegiate cyber competitions. So the first one we have is Collegiate Cyber Defense Competition, or CCDC. Our RVB it's like a mock of this competition. So basically you do the same thing as RVB. So defending your services, your websites, your databases against a red team, and also writing technical reports and deliverables to your higher ups, your business big man, whatever. And recently we've gotten a lot of success. I think it's last semester, 2024, we got second place at the national finals, and also at the 2023 national finals. You wanna actually not, it's fine. So Dylan right here is the CCDC captain, the current one. And then I think trials are this week, but if you're interested in this competition, in being in this competition team, definitely look out for next summer to try out and attend our boot camps. And next,
and also just to clear it up, all the competitions that Clemens and Dylan are talking about are like the Swift ones that we host ourselves. So that's like anyone can sign up, and it's what we do at Cal Poly. But the ones we're talking about right now are like against other schools. Just clear up confusion.
have this guy come up.
Hello, if you're not familiar with me, I'm Marshall Lung. Last year on Swift, I was director of competitions, but this year I am the captain for the CPTC team. This competition is a cybersecurity competition focused more on offensive security. So rather than defending a network, you're instead given a fictitious client and a giant vulnerable network of machines where your goal is to try to get into as many machines as possible, find as many misconfigurations, vulnerabilities, etc. as possible, and at the end of the day, ultimately write a report about what you found and, well, present it to them. At the very end of the competition on the global side, you're also required to give a presentation to what is essentially an executive board, a C-level executive board. As you can see, in the past, we've done quite well, placing first in a bunch of different regions and, of course, globals. And while, unfortunately, last year, this wasn't the case, this year, we have a very promising set of talents who've tried out. Tryouts actually occurred recently, rather last Saturday and Sunday. So while you cannot really participate in this competition for this upcoming season, next upcoming season, I would advise you, if you're interested in offensive cybersecurity, to participate in the boot camps we host over the summer. This is for both CCDC and CPTC. And at the very end, you can try out to be on either of the teams, or even both, as I am a member of both teams.
Thank you, Marshall. And if Alex Ryan's come up. It's like a hike.
Hey, you want to talk about Cyberforce first?
Oh, yeah. So, hey, everybody. My name's Alex. I'm one of the co-directors of Academy. I was also on the Cyberforce team last year. So Cyberforce is a cybersecurity competition focused on securing critical infrastructure. It's hosted by the Department of Energy. So every year they have a new theme based on energy. So last year, I think it was solar panels, and the year before that was windmills. But yeah, so Cyberforce is a cybersecurity competition focused on securing critical infrastructure. So you're working with things like HMIs, which is hardware machine interfaces, or ICS, which is industrial control systems. So you have to control that or secure that. And I like to think of this competition as like a 3-week competition because there's a lot of pre-work that goes into the competition that does affect your score the day of. So a couple of things that you have to do is like write up security documentation detailing like vulnerabilities on those systems. You have to write like a little network diagram. You also have to make a video for like a C-suite panel, but that's all like pretty easy. Day of, you're essentially doing a lot of incident response and also CTF challenges. So hackers are trying to like get into your systems, and I like to think of this competition as kind of beginner focused because the incident response part, the hackers essentially like help you a lot trying to like figure out like what you're doing, what's happening on your system. You're kind of not like going in blind. They kind of like tell you like, hey, something's happening on this system. Go find out, and they'll kind of lead you in the right way. So you actually learn something from the competition. Also, if you're into CTFs, please try out for the team. The CTFs for the competition are a very big part and can make the difference between like your placement, like placing maybe like 16th or like 10th. So yeah, tryouts for that are going to be 9/14 on Saturday, so in about 3 weeks. Like I said, this is open to beginners, but you will have a great support system from other competitors that were previously on the team and competitors that are on the other competition teams. So yeah, please try out.
And so for NCAE, it's a similar competition to Cyberforce. Me and Ryan and Alex all participate on NCAE. Me and Ryan were only on NCAE, and we weren't on the Cyberforce team. But NCAE is going to be a very similar competition. It's a defense-focused competition and is similar in aspects to Cyberforce, except take out the 3-week prep. NCAE is going to be a competition that takes place on one day. you're going to be given a network, and you have an active red team that is trying to break in, trying to hack your systems and mess with your configurations. Additionally, NCAE is going to be a fully beginner competition. They try really hard to enforce this rule, and people cannot compete in this competition for more than 2 years in a row, or just 2 years in general. So like, you don't have to be worried. It's completely beginner friendly. It also has CTF challenges. However, they do not hold as much of an impact as Cyberforce. And in NCAE, we were able to we had a full beginner team last year. Because of our great support system, we managed to place first place in the Western regionals, and then we went to nationals and got second place. And because of the experience we have in the competition, I'm fully confident that we'll be able to do the same for the upcoming team. For tryouts, NCAE is going to take place over winter break. And yeah, like I said, NCAA tryouts happen over winter break, which means that if you don't make the Cyberforce team, you can still make the NCAA team later on. And that's exactly what I did and Ryan did. We joined NCAA later, and we're still able to get a great experience. Since Cyberforce tryouts are happening now, I'll talk about it again. We are trying to prepare you guys as best as possible so that you can be prepared to make the team. Last year, it was kind of rushed, and we're trying to fix that. So if you guys show up, if you have any questions, make sure to reach out. We're going to do our best to try and get you guys on these teams, get you guys participating and involved. And do you want to speak on anything?
If you're trying out for these competitions, don't be afraid to not try out if you don't think you're qualified enough. When I tried out for these competitions, I barely knew anything. I barely knew any Linux commands or how to set up any services. I just copy and pasted commands I found on the internet to make the team. So don't feel afraid to like try out for the team. It's not that hard.
Yeah, that's it'll be like, it'll be a lot of Googling. If you guys are like, you know, yeah, don't be afraid. It's not going to be like super intensive. You're going to be competing against other beginners for the spots. So if you guys are interested, I definitely think if you put in a bit of work, you'll make the team for sure.
Okay, thank you guys. So yeah, if you're not interested in competing or you want to do other stuff here, we also have mentorship programs. So yeah, first just become a general member of Swift.
Yeah, so if you just come to meetings, join the Discord, you're already a free member. You have access to our meetings, our workshops. I think Swift Pals. We'll talk more about Swift Pals later, but that's one of our mentorship programs, and there's a lot for free stuff.
So like you don't need to pay anything to like do any of these competitions, or just be a member in general. But if you want to become a paid member, we do have a paid tier. So it's 35 for the year or 20 for like each semester. And with a paid tier, you'll be part of our alumni mentorship program, which we'll talk about a little more later. You also get a stole if you're a senior, and then you'll have like a merch bundle. So we'll give you like t-shirts and stickers and other stuff. And then we're working on cert reimbursement, so that might happen, or maybe part of it. But yeah, the paid memberships I have on either side. You can also pay with cash if you want, just like come to me or Bill or Alex, our treasurer, wherever he went over there. But yeah, there you go. And there's no like deadline to become a paid member. You should do it whenever. Okay, pals.
All right, hello everybody. My co-director Matthew up here. We are co-directors of membership. We're in charge of PALS this year. What is PALS though? Like, if you're interested in the club, you like what you see so far, you want to get a little bit more involved, but maybe you don't know where to start. Same thing as with the competitions, very beginner friendly. We want to make sure we get people who are interested and get them together with a mentor. We're gonna do our best to pair up pals based on availability and interest with the mentors so that you can go throughout the year, and we're gonna have activities to do each week that complement each week's lesson. Give a little bit more context, maybe if you're a little bit more interested in the topic, you can explore that further with your team so it's not as intimidating. And if you want to make friends, get to know other people in the club, it's great. Everyone's going to be paired up in groups. You guys can work together. And deadline to sign up is 9/6. We want to get that rolling so we can get groups together. Want to say anything?
I just want to say when I was first starting, Swift Pals was probably like one of the things that helped me most. Shout out Kenneth and I don't know where Clements is, but they're really good mentors. And yeah, it's definitely something you should do, especially if you're like just trying to get into it, or even if you're at a higher skill level.
Yeah. All right, cool.
Thanks, guys. So yeah, we pair like you guys up with our e-board members. So like if you ever feel that the meetings are too daunting or you're just like confused, that's why we have PAL groups there. But obviously you don't have to join a PAL group. You can just like message in the Discord. But a lot of our current PALs right now are like Swinterns or e-boards. So it's a good introduction to us. Okay, and then now we have alumni mentorship, Natalie. Ooh.
So the alumni mentorship is kind of similar to PALS, except you'll be doing one-on-one with a CPP alum. And that way you'll be able to understand the corporate world a little bit better. So you'll be able to work with both your mentee or your mentor and anybody else that they can connect you to. You'll be able to learn about their experiences and with their work and their processes of getting to where they are today. You can also have internship and job preparation during this program. So as an alumni mentee, what you will do is you can ask your mentors what you want to look into or what you're interested in, and they'll help you with that. Some of the things that they can do are resume, LinkedIn, and LinkedIn reviews, mock interviews, and they might be able to give you referrals for internships or job applications. The sign-up link is up there, and it's due on September 10th. That's in 2 weeks.
And this is through our paid program, but like as long as you pay at some point, it's fine. Okay, and then just to like recap in case we're confused between PALS and alumni mentorship, you both like network with a bunch of different people, all passionate and driven, being part of our community. But with PALS, it's open to everyone, and you're paired with an e-board member and like a group of students. And then alumni mentorship, it's only paid members, and we pair you one-on-one with an alumni. Okay, just where current alums work right now. Just some photos we have. I want to take like a quick group photo with everyone, if that's okay, before we break into our activity section. Okay, very cool. How do we want to do this? I think, should I just take a selfie? I'm gonna take a picture of you guys first. Okay. Most people. Oh, this is gonna be horrible. So here. Okay, thanks, guys. Okay. So that was like a big overview about Swift and what we do here. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out in the Discord. But now we're gonna, oh yeah, all of our links. Now we're gonna talk about our next meeting, which is Friday. It's gonna be 6 to 7:30 p.m. or the workshop is gonna be 6 to 7:30 p.m. and it'll be like in the business area. So just keep your eye out for an announcement. Bill will be going over like basics on VMs, how to use Camino, and a little bit of Linux. And then we're gonna have a Meet the eBoard social located in the game room. So we're gonna have to do like a group migration to the game room after that meeting. But it should be fun. Yeah, there'll be pizza too. I'll bring more if this many people come up.